History isn't just a collection of dates and empires. It's more like a shadowy library, just filled with secrets, stories that were never, ever meant to see the light of day. And today? Well, today we're pulling two of its most forbidden books right off the shelf.
We are peeling back the veil on two absolutely extraordinary civilizations. First, we're going to travel deep into the jungles of the Yucatan, and then we'll jump all the way across the world to the windswept sands of Egypt, all to uncover these incredible rituals that connected the living to the dead and mortals to their gods. Okay, so our first stop is the Mesoamerican rainforest, home to the Maya. Here, in the shadow of these towering stone pyramids, the Maya didn't just, worship their gods. No, they believed they had to literally feed them to keep the entire cosmos in balance. And the preferred item on the menu? The blood of their kings.
Now, this wasn't some ritual for the common person. The vision quest was the sacred and frankly terrifying duty of Maya royalty. They were convinced that through ritual bloodletting, a king could actually tear open a portal to Xibalba, the Mayan underworld, to talk with gods and ancestors. It was a direct, it was personal, and it was a profoundly painful transaction.
I mean, just imagine the scene. A king, all alone in the suffocating silence of a high temple. The air is just thick with the smell of burning copal incense, a sacred resin. This wasn't just a symbolic gesture, it was a physical journey, a deliberate step into a realm of pure shadow and power, all to appease the forces that they believed governed their entire world.
And that tells you so much about their worldview, right? For the Maya, the spiritual world wasn't some distant, abstract heaven. Xibalba was an immediate, tangible reality. It was a realm bubbling just beneath the surface of their own existence, and it was always waiting. The king's blood? That was the only key to the door.
Now, let's travel thousands of miles away, where another great civilization obsessed over that very same line between life and death. But for the ancient Egyptians, the approach was, well, it was completely different. They traded the raw, bloody transaction of the Maya for a ritual of intricate magic, otherworldly precision, and silent guardians.
So, after death, the most critical ritual for any high-status Egyptian was the opening of the mouth ceremony, and its purpose was nothing less than to reanimate the mummy, to magically restore all the senses the soul would need to navigate and thrive in the afterlife. If this didn't happen, the soul was basically deaf, mute, and blind for all of eternity. And this phrase, it really speaks directly to the Egyptian mindset. This wasn't a plea or a prayer, it was a delicate, magical operation. A high-stakes performance where every single word and every single gesture had to be perfect. The same kind of precision that built the pyramids was being used right here to construct an immortal soul. There was absolutely no room for error. So the crucial point was all in the execution. A priest who was playing the part of the god Horus would take these specially crafted instruments, like an adze or a ritual knife, and touch them to the mouth, the eyes, the nose, and the ears of the mummy. And each touch came with a very specific, powerful incantation, which they believed would literally awaken that sense in the spirit or the ka of the person who had passed.
And believe me, the stakes could not have been higher. If a single step was done wrong, if just one incantation was misspoken, the ceremony failed, the connection was severed, and the soul wasn't just damned, it was annihilated, lost to eternal oblivion, forgotten by gods and mortals alike. Just gone.
So here we have these two incredible rituals from two powerhouse cultures. One is using blood to bargain with the underworld, and the other is using magic to build a whole new life beyond it. So what does this tell us about how they saw their place in the universe? This comparison really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The Mayan goal was all about nourishing these powerful gods of Xibalba to keep order and authority in the living world. Their method was a raw, physical sacrifice. But for the Egyptians, the goal was deeply personal, to transform the deceased into a divine being, an Osiris, who could live forever. Their method was this precise, technical performance focused completely on survival in the next world. But, when you strip away the blood and the magic, the pyramids and the temples, you find something startlingly familiar at the core of both of these rituals. You find a universal human anxiety. Ultimately, both the Mayan king shedding his own blood and the Egyptian priest performing his delicate surgery were fighting the exact same enemy, oblivion. Whether it was by carving their legacy through sacrifice or by meticulously engineering an eternal soul, the ultimate goal was to refuse to disappear, to make sure their existence echoed long after their bodies turned to dust. And that leaves us with a final, lingering question. What's the greater fear? Is it a world that demands a painful, physical sacrifice from you just to keep things in balance? Or is it a world where one single mistake, one slip of the tongue, could erase your very soul from existence? Forever.